Hello and welcome to Tech Meets Wisdom. Today is a very special show. In this world today, there are many kinds of yoga and meditation and different practices, but we're going to be talking to a group of people that are following a particular lineage that is called a Sahaja Yoga. Stay tuned for more. Well, welcome to the show. We have Sunil, Ravi, MJ, and Anna. It's so wonderful to have all of you here. And I'd like to start with Sunil.
Yeah.
What exactly is Sahaja Yoga?
Sure. So Sahaja Yoga is an approach to meditation. It's a meditation yoga. And the key idea is we want to achieve a state of attention called thoughtless awareness. So it's not about what we're doing. It's not about how we're acting. It's about where's our attention. So if you look at day to day, we tend to be thinking. We're thinking about the future, thinking about the past. And between these two forces, we're never really in the present moment. And the idea of being in the state called thoughtless awareness is you're just in the here and in the now. And so the key thing that makes Sahaja Yoga different is it starts with this energy we all have called the Kundalini. So it's an energy that we have that exists in the base of in our sacrum bone, and but it's asleep.
The Kundalini is something that many people are talking about right now. So I think we have a little video that we can show, and it'll explain a little bit more about the Kundalini, what it's all about. Yeah, and while that's coming up, Sunil, can you tell us what exactly is the Kundalini? I'm sorry, Ravi.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
What exactly is the Kundalini?
So the Kundalini is an energy that resides in our sacrum bone, and it's there in every human being, irrespective of of race, of national origin, and people who are not practicing meditation, it is just lying dormant. And the unique idea of this meditation is that we have a very simple way to awaken it, and as it rises, it rises through our entire energy system, our energy centers, and really it helps us live life to the way that God wanted us to actually live it.
So what I'm hearing is that being in the present moment, from what Sunil you were saying,
Absolutely.
and you're not living in the past, and you're not living in the future, but you're living in the present moment. And the Kundalini, it gives a rise when you're actually blessed by a teacher, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Or is it something that somebody can do at home?
So we have Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi, who actually founded this meditation, and she taught us a very simple way to awaken this energy, and pretty much. But that's all. I mean, all that you really need is the desire to have this experience, and once you're in this thoughtless state, the Kundalini just rises. It's a living process. You don't really need to do anything special to get it to rise. There are some very simple techniques, and once it rises, it's pretty much on its own. It's on autopilot.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, let's see if we can get the video up and see a little bit about the Kundalini yoga, or Kundalini.
The Kundalini energy.
Kundalini energy.
Yes.
For many thousands of years, the secret was known only by a few. There is a force within, and you were born with it. They call it Kundalini. It lies dormant in the sacrum bone, at the base of your spine. When the Kundalini is awakened, it rises through your spinal cord and up. How can you know the meaning of your life if you're not connected to the power that created you? You feel it as a cool breeze.
Wow, that's so powerful. That's beautiful. I almost want to go and meditate now.
Absolutely.
So can you tell us a little bit more about the teacher?
Sure. So Nirmala Devi, our teacher, we call her Shamaji out of respect.
Nirmala Devi?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's my mom's name.
You know, there's no such thing as coincidences, as they say.
Yeah, there are no coincidences. I used to tell my mom whenever I'd see her picture that my mom can aspire to be like her, and my mom would just laugh. So it's really wonderful I'm doing this with you.
Yeah. Yes, it was interesting because she's an Indian lady from India, born to a Christian family. Her family is quite active in the India's independence movement, and as she became older, you know, she studied Western medicine, studied a lot of ancient cultures around the world. You know, she's trying to figure out what's that secret to, you know, the awakening this Kundalini, and you know, process of her, you know, her studies, her research, she figured this out, and so she felt this was the most important thing for humanity. So she traveled around the world to many different countries around the world just to teach this knowledge to all the seekers of truth. And she did this for free. So she never charged any money for it. And so in the same spirit, we kind of teach also the meditation, again, also for free. So all the classes are always free. So she felt that was a very important value, that the Kundalini is energy that everyone has. It's their right to know about the Kundalini and how to awaken and how to live the most of their life with the Kundalini.
Yeah, that's very special because it's if you understand some of these things, then it propels you to go to the next level, I would assume. And what's interesting is that all of you are professionals, you know, working professionals in the tech corporate world, and then you have time to do this. So it's all about like how you're giving back to the community, because that's such a big part of your living in the world, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So MJ, I wanted to talk to you a little about, welcome to the show.
Thank you, good to be here. Yes.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about how does this relate to the chakra system?
We have mainly 7 chakras in our physical body, and those chakras have their qualities that are associated with the state of our physical, emotional, and spiritual being. And those chakras are represented in our fingertips, in our feet, and with Sahaja Yoga meditation, we are able to feel how our chakras are doing. And we have a simple practice of maybe 5 or 10 minutes in the morning, 5 or 10 minutes at the end of the day. We connect in the thoughtless state that Sunil mentioned. We feel our subtle system, and feeling how our chakras are doing, we're able to use the elements to balance our chakras. So it becomes an inner healing and balancing process in the chakra system itself also.
Wow, that's interesting. And what else can you tell me about Sahaja Yoga? What has your experience been?
For me, maybe I can give a little bit of example of how I came. It was, I'm an assistant professor in technology management right now, but I've been practicing in the corporate world. And it was a time where I was searching for something that is not only scientific. And it found me. I went into a meditation center where there was one lady, she was showing the practice. And I just sat down and I immediately felt the cool breeze in my hands and with the catches in certain chakras. So the energy was there. And I started to learn by taking a notebook in my hand, going to the classes, because they just like, as my friends were mentioning, and you mentioned, it's voluntary. That's how we learned. So every night there were sessions being offered by volunteers like ourselves right now. So we learned that way, and then I've been keeping up. It's since 2005 I've been practicing.
Yeah.
And learning more.
What can you tell us about vibration? Like, what do you think, how does that work?
There are different, as I understand, and I'm new, as I always say, I'm new, we're all new because we're figuring out ourselves and we're trying to understand
how it can take thousands of years and you're still new, right?
Absolutely.
If you know it all, that's your ego.
Yes, thank you
You're
for
in
saying
trouble.
that. Thanks for reminding that. That's the idea. So we're learning. It's really, every day becomes a learning experience. So in that regard, how I would relate to it, as we understand, again, Shimataji is the one who explained these. There are 14 types of different vibrations that we feel electromagnetic, that makes our gadgets work, that makes our phones work, that makes our TVs work. But there are also inner vibrations that we sense within our being, and these are beyond electromagnetic vibrations. And that's our generation of energy within ourselves, as long as we are resonating in that frequency. So the idea is, whatever our frequency is, that's how we live. So if our chakras are in balance, we are in more resonance.
So it's kind of like if your laptop is running out of juice, you plug it into the wall, right?
Exactly.
And you get some juice, so it's like resetting yourself.
We recharge our batteries, we say that way. Or in another way, the more we practice, we become more aligned with the nature that's already making its own balance, run its own course. So we become attuned to that rather than being out of balance. So since today is the equinox day, so we become more aligned with the axis of the earth, and that makes us more grounded, though very dynamic at the same time.
So it's like almost activating the energies of where you are in the seasons and what's happening around you. But what's most important is what's inside.
Yes, so what is inside and what is around do not get disconnected. On the contrary, they become aligned and more integrated. So it's more of like maybe a computer being hooked up to the internet also, or a tree being connected from its roots to the nature itself and growing. And as Ravi mentioned, it's a living process. So every day is a different experience. Every day we live through different cycles during our lives, during our periods of our lives, and then we are trying to find our own inner voice, so that inner voice and how we are living do not necessarily fight with each other. They become more attuned.
Wow, that's pretty deep.
It is. It is. Again, we're learning. The kids are good at it, actually. They are always attuned. So it's our ego, as you said.
Oh, the kids, the kids are so pure and so innocent, and they're in a place where they can actually, connect much more than we do as adults, because we forget along the way.
Life
we let
keeps
all
us busy.
Sure, because we're not in the present, right? We're now living either in the past or the future, and that's when you get anxiety or depression.
Exactly.
Because you're not present in the moment.
And life is a challenge also, and we all go through challenges, but it's just a way of trying to navigate through while figuring out ourselves.
Yes. And so that takes me to the topic of like music. Music, aligning oneself with the sound energy.
Yes.
And Anna, you're kind of an expert in that area.
I'm still learning.
You just did it for a couple of lifetimes, but you're still learning.
I have never played music in my life. I was raised on Western classical music. Our parents taught us, before we would go to bed, they would turn on the music of Tchaikovsky and Beethoven and Mozart. But I never played any instrument. But what happened when I started meditating, and I started meditating in 2003, my attention was drawn to the Indian classical music in particular, and the way I was feeling it, that my meditations were deeper, and Kundalini was responding to it. It was pretty much just a deep meditation. So I started searching for the instrument, and it just spontaneously somehow happened that my attention was drawn to the sitar. And I started in 2012 taking lessons from a guru. He's a famous artist in India. He's #1 sitar player actually right now, Ustad Shahid Parvez Khan. And because the Indian music is very structured, so it is very important to have a teacher who will explain everything and teach it the right way.
Well, before you go on, I think that's a very important point you've got, is that a teacher always, we get a teacher or a coach for a reason, isn't it? I mean, now in this world we live in today, there's so much of people are trademarking things they've just learned in a week's course or something like that. And it's so silly, because this stuff we're talking about here is not something that you can learn from a book, but it's experiential. And the sitar, it has all the energies, the vibrations of the
Sahasrara chakra.
Sahasrara chakra is the 7th chakra, which connects you to the divine consciousness. And I think it's so amazing that you have been able to find that, and you're diving deeper into it. And one more thing is that you really need a true teacher, a guru, to guide you. And a guru in Sanskrit means, guru means a remover of darkness. So one who has already experienced that can only show you how to do that. So it's really wonderful that you found these teachers and you go to the authentic sources to move forward in your own learning.
Yes, it's actually a very interesting experience combined with the meditation. As you mentioned, that sitar represents Sahasrara. In fact, in Indian classical music, each instrument represents certain energy center. For instance, Shanai represents the first energy center, Muladhara. Veena represents the second energy center. Tablas represent the heart. Flute, the Vishuddhi. And Sahasrara is, of course, sitar.
And
yes, and
what else?
Sarod, we have
sarod,
for the
sarod. For the Agya. There
Agya.
are various also different instruments. I'm still learning, as you mentioned, and it's just so much to learn every time. And of course, it's a discipline, it's practice, and but the reward is joyful. It's joy, inner joy, and of course, the Kundalini is tuned to the sound of the music, and
so these energy centers within, when you're hearing the vibration of sound, it starts to become active, and it activates itself and starts aligning itself in a way that is productive for you to grow into, and it's your journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's right. Well, yeah. When what I feel when I practice actually playing on sitar every day, that the Kundalini energy it reacts to the sound of the music, and it simply by going deeper. When I actually play the sitar, I become thoughtless, and what it does, it actually nourishes the energy centers. And I could feel the cool breeze coming from the top of my head. And I feel very light, though my practice usually takes place in the evening, and usually we are all tired coming after work, but after practice I feel very light and energized.
Well, that's wonderful. I mean, you know, aligning all these energies with the chakra system and the musical instruments. What else is there?
There's the awakening of the Kundalini. So that's the key. That's the first step to the meditation. So so you know, as Ramji was saying, it's about your desire. So what's the key to awakening the Kundalini? People talk about it. There's a lot of different ideas, but what's the key? The key is just to take a moment to express your pure desire to the Kundalini, to experience the best that life has to offer, to experience express that desire to be one with your spirit, and to know who you are. So we can go through. I can show you how you can go through that.
Yeah,
it's a very simple process. So anyone watching at home can also follow along. It also works. It's not based on where you are. It's based just on your own heartfelt desire. And so
we're going to do a meditation right now.
Right now. So we're going to sit comfortably, sit up, nice and comfortably upright. You put your palms open in your lap, and just put your right hand on your heart, and just in your attention. Just express your desire. So right hand on the left side.
I have my mic here, so I better.
So here we just take a moment to express the desire inside. And just say Kundalini with confidence. Kundalini, yes, I am the pure spirit. Kundalini, yes, I am the pure spirit. We'll just go down now to the rib cage. Down here. And here we're going to inquire. Kundalini, am I my own teacher? Kundalini, am I my own teacher? Now I'll move down to the hip. So you can't really see very well the camera, but just on the left side, just put your hand by your hip. And now we're going to just make a request. So Kundalini, please give me the true knowledge. Kundalini, please give me the true knowledge. Let's bring our right hand back up to the rib cage, right, where we were before. So the first time we were here, we'd made an inquiry. Since that moment, we've also requested the true knowledge. And so because we've requested it, we've received that true knowledge. So now we know the answer to the question we had asked the first time. So we'll affirm that answer now with confidence. Kundalini, yes, I am my own teacher. Kundalini, yes, I am my own teacher. Let's go up to the heart again. So the first time we were here, we affirmed that we are the pure spirit. So we'll do that a second time. Kundalini, yes, I am the pure spirit. Kundalini, yes, I am the pure spirit. Now we're going to go further. So let's take our right hand, tuck it into the left side of our neck. So we'll just express, we'll just affirm with confidence. Kundalini, I am not guilty of anything. Kundalini, I am not guilty of anything. So this one we express as many times as we feel we need to. We'll go across our forehead, and here we just let go of all of our heartfelt bad feelings. Kundalini, I forgive everyone, also myself. Kundalini, I forgive everyone, also myself. Let's take our right hand, place on the back of our head, back small of our head. Just tilt our head back. Here we're going to let go of any mistakes we have made. Kundalini, please forgive me for all the mistakes I have made in my seeking. Kundalini, please forgive me for all the mistakes I have made in my seeking. Now we're going to take our palm, it's the last step. So take this palm, place it here on our fontanelle bone, and we're going to rotate. And the fingertips, we'll just pull the fingertips up, and as we rotate, we want to press firmly so the scalp is moving. So you can see my scalp is moving. So here we're going to make a request. Kundalini, please give me my self-realization. Kundalini, please give me my self-realization. We'll do 7 times in total. Kundalini, please give me my self-realization. Kundalini, please give me my self-realization. From the heart, so without the counting, just from the heart. Kundalini, please give me my self-realization. And when you're done, just turn your palms to your lap. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your attention above your head. Just let go. Let go of all of your thoughts. Just let go of everything and enjoy.
You can check, Geeta, with your hand above your head, a little bit higher, with right hand, how the air feels on top of your head. Now we change hands. We just wander in the air. A little higher, a little lower, left and right. How does it feel? Do you feel difference between the hands?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely feels like, you know, there was some resistance, and it feels much more clear with the way the body feels. It's definitely a sort of letting go process.
Yep.
Yeah, it's releasing.
Yeah.
And it's letting go of everything that we have going on in our body. Thank you so much. This was a beautiful little meditation. That's really something that I think we can, people that are watching, they can also take and learn from it. Of course, I didn't want to mess up my hair, so I couldn't really do all that. You know, I did. But I think, you know, if I'm doing it at home or something, I'm sitting down and I'm going through the process when I'm in my own deep meditation. It's definitely something that's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Like
And,
you mentioned the Ida and Pingala earlier.
Yeah.
We were talking. So
Yeah,
that's
the
what
Ida
we
and
were
Pingala.
trying to do with the left and right hand. So we are checking how our left sympathetic and right is feeling, the other way around.
Yeah.
So that's how we check our state and then go back into.
So you're looking at the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system and aligning it so it's aligned with your Sushumna, basically the merging space.
The way our physical bodies operate is we feel the.
We'll have to wrap it up for right now.
Go for
but
it.
we'll
just
have to continue.
The part.
But
No
it's
worries.
been
It's good.
It's been so wonderful. Thank you so much for having you all here. And if people want to explore more, you can go to freemeditation.com, which is that correct?
Yes.
For Sahaja Yoga. And
yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.